Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Iron Pie Podcast. This is the first podcast for the year 2021. So we're going to say to all of you, our viewers, and all those who are, on social media just passing this through, Happy New Year to every single one of you. And for today's episode, it's the new year. We would have made our resolutions, or some of us
people
would have made our resolutions. So we're going to spend a little time talking about resolutions. So, what's your New Year's resolution? Well, first of all, Happy New Year, Felicia.
Happy New Year to you.
And what is your New Year resolution? Do you have one, first of all?
Well, I am not really a resolution type of person because I realize that I don't stick to anything. So, I just had like the typical, eat healthier and things that are business related. So yeah, that's really all that I'm trying to do for this new year.
Well, okay, I don't have a New Year's resolution. I don't do that.
Why?
Because if I want to do something, I start doing it now and I wait until 1st of January to start that, or get into that mindset. That's just not me. If I say I'm going to start eating, being more conscious of what I eat or things like that, right? Let's start it. No, because I'm going to set myself up for failure. Now, there are many people who don't do New Year's resolutions, and it's because they themselves believe that, they're going to fail, right? And now, but there's actually a thing where people decide, okay, they're going to have a New Year's resolution, but they always want to know, why do your New Year's resolutions fail? Right? That's an actual thing. So there was a study done by the University of Windsor, and they said that New Year's resolutions fail for 3 reasons. Anyone hear the 3 reasons?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So one is because you wait until New Year's Day to start it.
Yeah.
So instead of doing it now, you decide, okay, I'm going to wait until New Year's Day to start. And that's not really how you do something. You're not going to tell yourself that day, especially after New Year's Day, after the holiday time, now all of a sudden in this mindset to start something. That's like it was time to start something in the first place, right?
Okay.
So, and it's also connected to number 2. You decide, okay, 12 a.m., right? Happy New Year's, all the fireworks and things. You wake up and you say, and you make all these drastic changes to your life.
No more alcohol, no more drugs,
right.
No more fat, no more flour, no more air.
Right. So after
no
you
more
eat
life.
flour for the entire holiday vacation, after you smoke and drink for the entire holiday vacation, all of a sudden you're waking up, New Year's Day,
trying to break this old habit.
So they really talk about like drastic changes, and that can't work. Generally, that can't work. You have to make steady improvements in your life. So something that you consider to be a resolution, something that you want to implement in your life to change a certain act or behavior or habits for most people, right? You have to do that gradually. You can't expect to change overnight. All of a sudden, you step into 2021.
A new person.
New
mindset.
Right? New mindset and all these
new
things
habits
that you're accustomed doing.
Yeah.
You're going to stop it. Because it's the new year,
question.
Everything about the new year.
I have a question for you. So are you saying that New Year's resolutions don't work?
They said how most of the times when you make New Year's resolutions, it's always these drastic things.
Right.
It's nothing.
Nothing simple.
Yeah. And even if you do, you always tell yourself, okay, I have to start this by January 1st. I have to start this by the 2nd of January.
Yeah.
I have to start this by the 3rd of
That's so
January.
true. And by the time you don't do it, okay,
Exactly.
2022.
And it's connected to number 3, that resolutions generally associated with failure. So people will say that if I don't accomplish this, it's like failure, and it lowers your self-esteem, right, for the rest of the year, telling yourself, "Way boy." And then every single year, you're going to make this promise to yourself that you know you can't keep. It's better to approach it in a different way and not calling it or making it into a huge New Year's resolution when you can tell yourself, okay, I'm going to have these goals and these steps in my life that I'm going to work towards. However, I just can't do that overnight.
Right.
I can't stop, all of a sudden you want to stop using social media so much. Those are things that you can work gradual steps. So instead of using social media 12 hours a day, 10 hours,
Okay.
8 hours, like that.
Are you saying now then New Year's resolutions should be more specific or more, how to put it, like smaller goals?
Yeah, it's like, goals. They set
So
to
it's
habits in
goals.
goals, in like in
Right.
sets.
Okay.
And to get out of this ridiculous mindset that in order for you to be a better person in the new year, you have to do all these drastic changes within the first week.
Okay, so it's not really an example. I'm asking you if this is an example of it.
Okay.
For example, a lot of people, their New Year's resolution is always to lose weight. Like that's one of the highest things.
Right.
So in that case, is it that instead of saying, "Oh, I want to lose weight for the new year," rather than saying that, you will say, "Okay, I will start exercising 10 minutes."
Yeah,
A
10
day,
minutes.
or I will cut out a specific thing from my diet.
Yeah.
So,
Be realistic and say, okay, by the next Christmas season, the next Christmas end of year season, you want to have achieved that you lose a certain amount of weight.
Right.
But you're not going to tell yourself, okay, if the person wants to lose like 10 pounds or something like that, right? 10 pounds, right? In January the 1st, they said you're not going to just stop eating, automatically. And then it's on your mind every time, I have to lose this 10 pounds, I have to lose this 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Start off small.
So you start robbing yourself of like
Exactly.
happiness and stuff.
Exactly, and then that's how you're starting off your year on a bad note, and you starting off your year by feeling defeated already
Dictated
so
by
early on.
A New Year's resolution. That's so
So
true.
that is a thing. I mean, I don't have a resolution for me personally. Again, if I think I want to change something, I'm not gonna wait until 2021 or 2022 to begin.
Yeah.
I will do that now, right? Especially if it's a gradual process of me to become a better person. However, I mean, there's some things you probably want. Something that I saw really like in 2020 and really through the COVID situation, I find lots of Trinidadians. So it's not really for me, but it's for like the world or Trinidad in general on a national level, that I would like people to show more empathy. Right? As you would have seen, like, during the pandemic, there are many people who are going through different situations, whether it's financial or mental or psychological, and persons who are either in a better position in those particular areas, they don't really have any empathy. They say, well, if I could do so, I could do so. And especially during a time in a pandemic, which we are still in, right? There are many people who are suffering.
Yeah, a lot of people like to do that, compare others' situations to theirs.
Exactly.
Say, okay, if I could do this during a pandemic, you could do it too, but the situation isn't always the
Exactly.
same.
Or
That's
people,
so true.
and it comes also, we could connect it to people who were saying, like, how some people would have been unemployed for a period of time, or their business would have gone out. I know people who are saying, well, that's them. They should have, if it's a good business, you would have had savings put away in the first place.
Yeah.
And I am like, you don't know the person's, journey. You don't know the person's status, right?
That's true.
And you don't know what they would have been going through for you to make that decision. Say, well, if I was them, I would have
Yeah,
had.
that's so true, and I could actually speak to that in the sense that where business is concerned and my business, like obviously no small business owner, especially somebody who is as young as me, because that's typically the people that's trying to start businesses now, they are really young, and because of that, not everyone is educated in business, so they just go out doing certain things. You don't really know what's going to happen in this world,
Right.
and then a pandemic strikes, and the thing is, it's not always financial, because for me, yes, I would have risen above the pandemic and the circumstances that it brought upon my business, but the circumstances was not financial. Like, I had the money to buy certain things, but it just could not have gotten here in time.
Right.
That would have caused me to lose customers and stuff like that, and that could have happened to other businesses as well. So for you to think that everything is financial, that is also something that is it is ignorant.
It is.
So you can't just think that the reason why a business would have failed or somebody would have failed was because of money.
Exactly. And people always feel as if well, if they were in that situation, and even if you in that same situation, even if you're in the you have that same, okay, you own a business just like that person, and you realize the pandemic or in the same industry and things like that, but that person is suffering more. You're not going to look at that person and say, well, they should have do what I was doing. Come on, you have to, if a person needs help, reach out to them.
If it if it's bothering you at least, because you are not obligated to help anybody.
You're not obligated to help anybody, but some
if
people
you
want to be so verbal about it and post about it and cast
do
judgment.
something.
Exactly.
Help them.
Exactly. So, I mean, now that we touch on that area of business, I believe we are doing something this month when it comes to small local businesses.
Right. Yes, we are. So, because this is a new year and we are we are deeper in the pandemic, we realized that a lot of businesses would have come out of it because, a lot of people are unemployed and it is just human nature to adapt to circumstances.
Yeah.
And one of that, to get money, is to open small businesses. So for the month of January, we would really like to dedicate a few of our episodes to, talking a bit about business topics and topics related to small business ownerships, anything of the sort. We would also like to use our platform to support small businesses, which we will speak about in the future.
Yeah. And also when you can tie that in when you're talking about like resolutions, we want to be able to share information on how you could make your business better, how you could probably gauge a certain audience, or tips on how you could become more marketable. Tips on how you could pitch your business out there, and probably even a showcase how is your business different to someone else's, because everyone has different.
But that is so important. Like I will never be able to stress how much difference and standing out and being unique in an industry that is so saturated, because every industry is saturated. I don't care what anybody say. There's always an alternative or something that is your competition.
Exactly. And even though you have a similar idea to someone, an idea is something very minor. It's how you execute it and how you go about it that makes your business stand out from another. And that's how you don't have to be always thinking that you have to, be
a competitor.
Competitor. Yeah. And even something makes you a better person, makes you a better entrepreneur, makes you a better business owner.
You grow a lot as well, though.
Exactly. So we look forward to that in the next few episodes that will be coming out in our podcast. And we will again want to thank everyone for the past few months and since last year, how much support you have given us. And as we go forward in this new year, we want to be sure that that we get you more engaged and you could help us. We will want to be able to help others as much as we can during this year. So that is like our personal goal and resolution for 2021. So until next time, this is the Island Vibe Podcast. See you next week.
Bye.